How did ancient humans figure out which plants were safe to eat, and how many people died discovering it? Walk through any forest today, and you're surrounded by thousands of different plants: leaves, berries, roots, mushrooms. Most of them look completely harmless, but scattered among them are plants capable of causing severe illness or even death within hours of being eaten. There's no visible warning label, no obvious sign separating a nutritious meal from a fatal mistake. So how did early humans, with absolutely no scientific knowledge, figure out which plants were safe and which ones weren't? The uncomfortable truth is that this knowledge almost certainly came at an enormous human cost. Early humans didn't have laboratories, chemical testing, or any scientific method to identify toxins in advance.
In most cases, the only way to determine whether a plant was safe was to actually eat it and observe what happened afterward. This means that countless early humans across thousands of generations likely became sick or died simply by testing unfamiliar plants, one dangerous meal at a time. Some researchers believe this process wasn't purely random trial and error, though. Early humans likely relied on a combination of careful observation, cautious testing methods, and closely watching animal behavior. If certain animals consistently avoided a particular plant or became sick after eating it, that observation alone may have provided an early warning sign, even without direct human testing.
Conversely, if animals regularly and safely consumed a specific plant, humans may have used that as a reasonable, though far from perfect, indicator that the same plant might be safe for human consumption as well. However, this method wasn't foolproof and could actually be dangerously misleading. Many animals have evolved specific biological adaptations allowing them to safely eat plants that would be extremely toxic or even lethal to humans. Rabbits, for example, can safely consume certain toxic plants that would cause severe illness in a human. This means early humans who relied purely on watching animal behavior without additional caution could have been led directly into deadly mistakes. Given these risks, many early human societies likely developed cautious testing procedures, refined and passed down over countless generations. Some anthropologists believe early humans may have used methods like smelling a plant first, checking for extremely bitter or unpleasant tastes, since bitterness in nature is frequently, though not always, associated with toxic compounds, and starting with extremely small test portions rather than eating an unfamiliar plant in large quantities all at once. If a small amount caused no immediate negative reaction, slightly larger amounts might be tested over subsequent days, gradually building confidence in a plant's safety through repeated, careful, incremental testing. Cooking likely played an enormously important, though often overlooked, role in this survival process as well. Many plants that are genuinely toxic when eaten raw become significantly safer or even completely safe after being properly cooked, since heat can break down or neutralize certain harmful compounds. Once early humans developed reliable control over fire, this dramatically expanded the range of plants that could realistically be eaten safely, essentially unlocking access to food sources that would have previously been far too dangerous to consume in their raw form. This knowledge, once discovered through this dangerous, generations-long process, became incredibly valuable and was carefully preserved and passed down verbally from parents to children, and from experienced elders to younger generations within a community. Losing this accumulated knowledge could be genuinely catastrophic for a group survival, meaning oral traditions surrounding edible and dangerous plants were likely treated with tremendous seriousness and care, repeated and reinforced constantly to ensure this hard-earned, life-or-death information wasn't accidentally forgotten or lost between generations. Different regions around the world naturally developed completely separate, independent bodies of plant knowledge based entirely on whatever specific plants existed within their local environment. Indigenous peoples across North America, for example, developed extremely detailed, sophisticated understanding of which local plants were safe for food, which had genuine medicinal properties, and which were dangerously toxic. This same fundamental pattern repeated itself independently across virtually every human population throughout history, from the Amazon rainforest to the vast steppes of Central Asia to remote Pacific islands. each community developing their own highly specific, deeply detailed plant knowledge, entirely suited to their unique local environment and available plant species. Some particularly dangerous plants required exceptionally elaborate processing methods before they could be safely eaten at all, revealing an extraordinary level of accumulated botanical knowledge among indigenous cultures. Cassava, for example, still an important food source across parts of Africa, South America, and Asia today, naturally contains genuinely dangerous levels of cyanide-producing compounds. Indigenous peoples in these regions developed remarkably intricate preparation processes involving careful peeling, prolonged soaking in water, extended fermentation periods, and thorough cooking, specifically designed to remove these toxic compounds before the cassava could be safely eaten. This kind of complex, multi-step processing method almost certainly required countless generations of careful trial and error, likely including serious illness or death along the way, before humans finally discovered the precise sequence of steps needed to transform a genuinely dangerous plant into a reliably safe staple food source. Mushrooms presented, and honestly continue to present, an especially treacherous category of plant-based food. Unlike many toxic plants, which often display an obviously bitter or unpleasant taste as a natural warning sign, many extremely poisonous mushroom species can actually taste pleasant, or even genuinely delicious, right up until dangerous symptoms begin appearing hours later, by which point, in many cases, it's already too late for effective treatment. This particular danger likely made mushroom identification an especially critical, closely guarded, and rigorously enforced body of specialized knowledge within many ancient human societies, since a single, seemingly minor misidentification could easily prove fatal. Even today, in the modern world, mushroom poisoning remains a significant, genuinely serious concern.
Without any modern scientific understanding of bacteria, ancient humans had to rely almost entirely on careful observation, closely tracking which specific preservation methods reliably worked, refining their techniques gradually over countless generations of trial, error, and hard-won experience. So the next time you casually open your refrigerator, remember, these same fundamental preservation principles were painstakingly discovered by ancient humans thousands of years ago, using nothing more than sun, wind, fire, smoke, salt, ice, and careful, hard-earned observation.